Axemaster Wazoan needs an adventure he can trust. Ah, Tolucc, just the woman I was hoping to see. Ah, it's plain as day that you've no equal in our guild, and I have a task that I'd entrust to no ordinary marauder. To wit, I just received a message from an old comrade in arms of mine who now serves as a guardsman in Costa del Sol. It would seem the fighting's grown fierce in those parts, and he finds himself in dire need of reinforcements. Mind you, this man is no white-livered whelp. He can wield an axe with the best of them, as evidenced by Master Genjaru's paying good coin for the services of he and his friend. No, any enemy who could fluster that bunch is not one to be trifled with. I've sent Solquib on ahead of you to tend to the wounded. Seek her out upon your arrival and she'll apprise you of the situation at hand. Tolucc, ever the sight for sore eyes. A nasty bell of turtles has been preying on this area of late, snapping and gnashing at everyone in sight. Why, even the best men of the Master Genjaruju could find themselves no match for the creature. Word has it that the beasts have been sighted swimming in from the lightly guarded northern shore. I would send you there to investigate the cause behind the burgeoning numbers. Ah, damn it all, Tolucc. We must see to these beasts. Seven hills, there's no end to them. Prepare to fall back. I'll see to the shellbacks. You whelps just try not to end up as turtle grub. That axe! I've not seen its like in... Dude, we must do what we can. That should send them scuttling back to their nests. You can call me Curious Gorge. One remark about the name and I'll rip your ugly heads from your shoulders and suck the marrow out of your twitching spines. You two are guards from Costa del Sol, I reckon. Not as such. We are of the Marauders Guild, sent here by Axemaster Wiseowen to assist in the defense. I'm Solquib, and this is my comrade Tolucc. From the guild, you say? Well, blow me down and call me a boggy. Had you told me sooner, I'd have introduced myself with proper respect. You're Tolucc, right? We've only just met, but I see you in you a strength found in ordinary woman. What say you unleash the beast within and become a warrior with me? A warrior, you say? So it was you I saw brandishing battle techniques I had thought lost to the sands of time. Lost? Yeah, perhaps in these parts, but where I come from the way of the warrior's alive and well. My tribe has been handing them down for thousands of years. Yet our numbers dwindle with every new summer, and this is why I left the mountains where I was raised to come here. What say you, Tolucc? If you would walk the path with the warrior with me, seek me out in the Hidden Falls. The warriors of old. We have all heard the tales, but never once did I dream that I would meet one of them in the flesh. My memory is cloudy, but many years ago it was said that there was a young marauder in the company of heroes who would unleash crushing blows, theretofore unseen by his comrades. When the company disbanded, he vanished, never to be seen again. Might that be this Curious Gorge? I cannot vouch for the man's identity, but there can be no denying the display of strength we saw today. Nor that he has taken a liking to you, Tolucc. This could be an opportunity for the ages. Hidden Falls, was it? Were I in your boots, I'd head off there without delay. I knew you'd come, Tolucc. Let us begin. Any woman can take up an axe and call herself a marauder, but to become a true warrior, she must prove she can tame the inner beast that guides the blade. I witnessed your battle with the turtles, and I must say that I was impressed. You have proven yourself far more worthy of this than I could have imagined. In your hands lies the soul of a warrior, a crystal within which the deeds of 1,000 warriors from history are recorded. For countless generations, the soul has been passed on to those of my tribe who choose the path of the warrior, to guide them and aid them on their journey. When your inner beast awakens, the runes will resonate, further empowering your will and granting you such strength as you never thought possible. Today there is cause for celebration, my friend. For you, though, I have ensured that my tribe's legacy will endure. Yes, it is this day, for this moment, that I came down from the mountain. Yet, however earnestly I pursue my goal, I cannot deny the fear inside me that my mission will ultimately end in failure. For you see, while I style myself a warrior, the truth is that I left the mountains before my training was complete. And while I carry with me the chronicles of my ancestors detailing the ancient arts of war, I lack the ability to fully decipher the texts. Yet there may still be hope, for there's another who fled my village, one who shared my dream of passing the teachings of the tribe, that can read the tomb, my brother. Without him, I fear there is little more I can teach you at this time, but that will not discourage me from continuing my studies of the chronicles, nor shake my belief that further secrets will soon reveal themselves to me. Until then, I ask that you use this knowledge I've passed on to you and continue your training. You must strive to harden your will so that it may endure the strain of future burdens. Good luck, my friend. Curious Gorge is struggling to decipher the ancient texts. Welcome back, my friend. I can see that you've not neglected your training for my part. I fear that deciphering the ancient chronicles of my people has proven to be much more demanding of a task than I had imagined. Mind you, it hasn't helped that I've been somewhat preoccupied of late. A comrade of mine from my days in the company of heroes asked me to do a favor, and it's taken me back and forth across the realm like some bloody fairy. I'm on a hunt for some mysterious feral beast that's been terrorizing small folk. People don't know where this monstrosity came from, but witnesses say its thirst for blood is unlike anything we've ever seen. Unfortunately, the time I have spent in pursuit of the beast is a time I have not spent studying the chronicles, and I'm sorry to say that I have made little progress. However, while on the road I was able to decipher one passage that may be of interest to us both. From what I can gather, the chronicle tells us of an ancient set of armor forged by my ancestors in the flames of the Seven Hells, and inscribed with the same arcane incantations that adorn the soul of the warrior. It would seem that this mighty armor was passed down from hero to apprentice for centuries, until one man, driven by rage and vainglory, cast all 5 pieces from Albathia's highest peak. Since that day, the armor has remained lost, and with it the power that it harbors. As far as I can make out, the next passage in the chronicle concerns the whereabouts of these missing artifacts. Though I have only been able to make sense of the odd world thus far, still, I must confess to some excitement. Imagine what a warrior clad in such garb could achieve. If only my brother were here. We could decipher the text together and spread the teachings of our people to the entire realm. Alas, he's not. His whereabouts are as hidden to me as those ancient armor. I would have liked you to meet him, if only so that you could have looked upon a true warrior. Well, perhaps you still shall. Eorzea is not as large as most people perceive. Paths cross, fates intertwine. Such is the will of the spinner. It may be that my brother has chosen a similar path to mine, but I have rambled long enough. You here are to take the next step in your training, and so I shall oblige. In the southern reaches of Thanaland and the Singoli Desert, a god-forsaken wasteland of naught but sand that stretches as far as the eye can see, it is here that the Leviathan of the Dunes lurks, a sandworm of gargantuan proportions. When facing this mammoth creature, you'll soon realize that the feeble hacks and slashes of your puny axe are well suited to the task of felling such a foe. But don't let that dissuade you. Wake the slumbering beast within and summon forth a strength that transcends the limits of your physical form. Mind you, first you'll have to find the beast, and that might prove a tall order in itself. You, tribe that inhabits Forgotten Springs, is wise to the movements of the denizens in the desert. Should you want for guidance, I'd wager they could set you in the right direction. The Leviathan of the Dunes saw the fearsome bugger not a week ago, preying on a group of merchants south of Brygurt's Strike. The smart ones dropped their wares, turned tail, and ran. The dumb ones, well, at least they can say they died rich. Aye, I've seen the beast. Stands 3 moms high, he does, and stirs up sandstorms with each writhe and wriggle. Showed up in my hunting field some years ago and has been swallowing up my would-be prey in that gaping maw of these ever since. Sandworms are particularly sensitive to vibrations in the earth, such as those made by running. If you're looking to summon one of the beasts, then I suggest you search for the tracks, then run about making as much of a clamor as possible. I'd also suggest you seek a cure for your madness. Ah, Tolucc, your crystal grows ever stronger, and fell in the raging sandworm, the beast within you slowly but surely roses to wakefulness. When next you do battle, methinks you'll find yourself capable of movements heretofore unfamiliar to you. When you have mastered your new talents, return to me. In the meanwhile, I shall continue my study of the ancient texts. Curious Gorge would share with you a shocking revelation about his tribe's past. Hello again, my friend. It's quite obvious that you have been anything but idle in your training since last we met. Your progress is heartening to look upon, truly, but it also serves to remind me that each hour I spend poring over ancient texts is an hour not spending owning my skills. I fear my worth on the battlefield is diminishing by the day. Yet I'm certain that my studies of the Chronicles will yield something of use. In fact, just last night, I discovered how the warriors of my tribe came to be, shunned by the outside world. Upon witnessing my people's prowess with the axe, the armies of the city-states began to incorporate similar techniques into their own training regimens. These are the self-slaying techniques that I've been instructing you in, Tolucc, one which call upon the inner beast. The consequences, of course, were dire. Yes, their soldiers became nigh on unstoppable, but they also became wholly uncontrollable, and both friend and foe fell prey to the ensuing carnage. Of course, the heeds of my city-states laid to blame for these atrocities solely at the feet of my kind, promptly banning the ancient art and imprisoning anyone suspected of teaching it, or so the chronicles say. What I find hard to grasp, though, is that never once during my training did my brother hint at this dark history, nor have I myself ever seen one of my tribe succumb to the rage that the chronicles describe. Could it be that the tales are mere falsehoods? Stories concocted by some long-forgotten enemy who would poison our heritage and befoul our tribe's name? Who in their right mind would seek to sully something so pure? And why would my ancestors simply bow their heads and suffer such ignominy? That my people which should be so weak, so utterly bereft of pride, is inexplicable. I refuse to believe it. It matters not if these claims are groundless. If they prompted my tribe's art to fade into obscurity, then the damage has already been done. Well, I for one will not turn a blind eye to this injustice. If none of my people will give to the lie the stories that so tarnished our reputation, it shall have to be me. But once again, I lose myself in history and forget the present. If you recall, I spoke to you of my former comrade from the Company of Heroes, and the great woolly beast we have been pursuing. The beast remains on the loose, and to toss upon assault on the wound, fell creatures that appear to be its minions have been wreaking havoc on the innocent resides in Wineport. Were you and I to succeed in quelling the threat, surely the people would see that warriors are no fearsome beasts, but valuable allies. Together, Tolucc, we will win back our proud name. Now, let us away to Wineport to meet with the captain of the militia. My friends, Wineport is much obliged for your aid. The fiends come relentlessly, and what few able-bodied men we have find themselves hopelessly overmatched. Indeed, the western gates have been so besieged that they are currently left without any manned defense. Leave the defense to us, my good man. I will secure the western gate. Tolucc, you defend the town from the east. Together we will form a bulwark that not a single fiend can penetrate. Oh, once the enemy has been driven back, we return here to back up the captain. Got it, Tolucc? Thank the 12 you're safe. We have need of your skills, yet I've just heard a scream and I fear one of the beasts might be loose within the village. Come with me. You monster! Get away! Get away! Monster, but I... Come no closer, Tolucc. I beg of you. I must return to the falls. Whatever has gotten into Curious Gorge? 'Tis true that he fought like a man possessed, but to mistake him for the very beast he hunts, methinks the child's parents have been feeding her a few too many ghost stories for her own good. Worry not, friend. I shall speak to the villagers and clear up this most unfortunate misunderstanding. Do return to the falls and assure Curious Gorge that Wineport is indebted to him for his aid. Tolucc, please forgive me for leaving so abruptly earlier. It was a hasty reaction to a situation for which I was completely unprepared. While both you and I know that I was in complete control of my inner beast, I now realize that to the layman's eye, it may have seemed that, well, the opposite was true. Mayhap it was this very misapprehension that lent weight to the lies which led to my tribe's disgrace. And if that is the case, then perhaps I should return once more to the Chronicles and endeavor to reassess their message in light of this discovery. Speaking of light, your soul crystal, Tolucc, it sparkles. Does the soul of the warrior have aught to reveal to you? Any whisper of import? Ah, if only they hadn't forsaken me as they did my brother. Yes, well, I suppose that is that. I must continue my studies and your training. I hope you have something new for both of us very soon. Until then, my friend. Curious Gorge would send you searching for ancient relics. Welcome again, my friend. I was wondering when your travels would bring you back this way. It just so happens that I have some exciting news. I finally uncovered the clues pertaining to the whereabouts of the lost armor of my ancestors. As it turns out, after the fallen hero cast the 5 pieces from the mountaintop, 5 of his pupils set out to recover them, intending to restore their master's name. What is more, they were actually successful in the search. However, when it came to reuniting the set, the armor's great power began to work upon their minds, and not one could bring himself to relinquish his piece. Realizing then that their master's fatal pride was born of the artifact's combined influence, the pupils resolved to keep their pieces separate, and to share between 5 of the power that might otherwise have consumed 1. Thus did each of them carve his own place in history. The chronicles go on to say that years later, prior to death, each of the pupils returned to the scene of his own greatest victory and buried the artifact in his possession in a final attempt to prevent any one warrior from holding the set. And it is there that the pieces still rest. You may be interested to know that the armor I wear is itself a replica of the set crafted by my ancestors, identical in all respects save for its lack of arcane enchantments that adorn the original. I know that you might be thinking, if we were to bring the 5 pieces together once more, what would prevent us from being corrupted in the same fashion? Well, I've thought of that. What we need only to do is trace the runes we find on the armor into every piece of the warrior gear. That way, there would be no need to worry about a single proud fool becoming drunk with all his all-surpassing power. Every warrior in this realm would be possessed of the self-same might. It's quite brilliant if I do say so myself. So, how about we split up and begin the search straight away? 3 of the locations seem quite self-evident. I would trust the search there to you while I track down the other 2 with the tomb in hand. One piece is said to be buried under the great rocks of Boulder Downs in Corathus, while another slumbers peacefully at Camp Tranquil in South Shroud. The last of the 3 rests untouched at Pravada's Peace in western Thanalan. Unearth those 3 relics and bring them to me. With any measure of fortune, I'll have tracked down the remaining 2 by the time you return. How fares your search, Tolucc? Have you found aught of my tribe's ancient relics? Should you have the 3 pieces of armor, don them and show them to me. Ah, Tolucc. That you found the gear is most gratifying, but what I would truly fancy would be to see you in it. Wait, stand still for a moment. The armor so becomes you that I could not tell you had it on at first glance, but now I can have no doubt. I sense the power of the runes inscribed on each piece resonating with your crystal. This is the long-lost armor of the warrior. I too have found one of the relics, but I have run into an unexpected rub. When I donned the piece, I felt nothing, as if the lost treasure were no different from the unadorned replicas already in my possession. Whether the power has been lost to it or must needs to be awakened by means yet unknown to me, this I cannot say. The ancient text still holds many mysteries beyond my ability to decipher. But before I forget, I should mention to you that I did indeed track down another piece before I was waylaid by this current conundrum. You should find it sealed away at the Red Mantis Falls. I see your search was a fruitful one. I'm pleased to say I've also gleaned some insight into why the armor I found seemed devoid of power. As I alluded to, the ancient warrior's armor derives its power from a concordance between the incantations engraved on the steel itself and the inner beast of the wearer. But my own resonance with the plating was too weak as to allow a proper connection with it, and now I think I know why. My soul crystal. It once burned bright like yours, but since the events at Wineport, it has been reduced to a lifeless husk. Why this happened, I cannot say, but the tomb is quite clear about the would happen were the powers of the armor to be bestowed upon one whose soul is weak. The inner beast would devour the mind of the wearer, who would go to a mindless rampage and would end only with the mercy of death. Yes, not unlike the crazed fiends we battle. I believe that the armor sensed my weakened state, foresaw the potential danger, then knowingly shut off its power to me, and I dare say we are fortunate it did. I feel as though an apology is in order at this conjuncture. I must tell you that I left the final piece of this armor where I found it. The breastplate, as the piece closest to the warrior's heart, has power far greater and more dangerous than the other pieces. Uncertain as I was to the reason for my being unable to connect with the plate to mystical energy, I feared to take it would mean the both imperiling myself with those around me. Your soul may burn stronger than mine, yet still I worry for your fate, were you to put it on. Look deep within yourself, Tolucc. When you feel yourself ready, and only then, come speak to me again. Curious Gorge would share with you the location of the final piece of relic armor. You would truly seek the ultimate relic of my people? The armor that could consume the very soul of the most puissant warrior? Very well. If you are truly convinced of your readiness, I will not be the one to stand in your way. But I beg of you, Tolucc, the moment you feel yourself losing control and your inner beast overcoming you, cast the armor aside. Cast it from the highest mountain or into the depths of the ocean. I care not. For once the beast consumes your soul, there is no going back. You will rage on, a monster, leaving naught but carnage in your wake. The realm will bleed and history will repeat itself. I cannot allow this to happen. No, my people have been shunned long enough. I would see the coming of a new age in which my warriors protect the weak and are loved and admired by the people of the realm. My years of battle and sleepless nights spent poring over the ancient texts, all has been for this day. Brother, I know not where fate has led you, and yet I feel certain that in spirit you stand with me today. Together we will restore the honor of our people. You must forgive my sentiment, Tolucc. As I said, this has been a long time coming. The breastplate you seek is in the highlands of Corythus, at the spring they call the Weeping Saint. I will stay behind. The events at Wine Point still weigh heavy on my heart. Hand over the breastplate, Tolucc. After much wrestling with the thought, I simply cannot entrust such a relic to an outsider who may be overwhelmed by its power. I return now to Hidden Falls. If you'd have words with me, then come. I will not run away. Tolucc, I'm sorry. I did not mean for things to happen like this, but I had no choice. I have wrestled long and hard with the matter, but this is my decision. I cannot trust you with this power when I do not even trust myself. Aye, that's right. I won't attempt to don the plate again. Either nor will anyone. Not until I have proof that there is one with a will strong enough to withstand the beast's siren call. Peer deep within your soul, Tolucc. Peer into the eyes of the beast that stares back at you. Can you truly say that you can engage the monster in battle and emerge victorious? I shall return to the tomb. If there are any answers to be found, they lie within those pages. In the meantime, continue your training that you might find an answer on your own. Curious Gorge has received an urgent distress call. Tolucc, there is much we must discuss, but now is not the time. You surely recall my mention of the hunt for the bloodthirsty creature terrorizing the small folk. I've just received word that the self-same monster has been sighted near Wineport. What is more, according to those who managed to escape the carnage, the creature appeared more man than beast. If that's true, then our quarry could be far more dangerous than any wild animal. We must find a way to stop it. I must find a way to stop it. This is my chance to prove to the people of Wineport, nay, the world, that my tribe and my art have been wrongly judged. Perhaps then my ancestors will deem me worthy. I think even my brother would too. There is no time to lose. We must arrive in the hamlet before any of the villagers fall prey to the beast. Let us leave at once. Thank the gods for your presence. Wineport is in debt once more. Fell creatures bear down upon our village in hordes, as if drawn by the great hairy beast. You must stop them. Tolucc, you fend off these creatures. I will see to the beast. That is my battle to fight. It's the monster! It's the bees! Run for your lives! Stop! These people are not your enemy. The enemy lies within. You are stronger than this. Take control of the beast. Do not let it consume you. Brother. Look what you are doing. You are destroying all that I work to restore. The fate of our people rests in our hands, brother. Your weakness could cost us everything. I cannot let that happen. I will not. Our ancestors have chosen me to lead our people to glory, and no shall stop me. No one. No one. No one. It was I who unlocked the secrets of the Chronicles. I who trained you in their ways. I who uncovered the locations of the legendary artifacts. I who defeated my tribe's greatest warrior. I am the master now. I am the master. Return to me what is rightfully mine. Give me the armor. Or shall I tear it from your bloody corpse? I have failed. I failed you, I failed my people, I failed my ancestors, and I failed my own kin. I found out long ago what had become of my brother, but did everything I could to deny it. I thought that if only I could prove myself stronger than he, the people would see his madness as a product of a weak mind, that they would believe the problem and lay in him and not in our tribe. Yet, all the while, my own soul was growing weaker and weaker. The inner beast had taken hold, and it would not let go. It drove me as it drove my ancestors, the keeper of the armor, and my brother. Our tribe had lost sight of who we were, and seeking ever more strength, we allowed ourselves to fall victim to that which had long scorned in others as weakness. Instead of learning towards our hardened our wills, like a bonfire, anger burns hot and bright, but when the fuel that feeds it is spent, all that remains is ash. By accepting anger as our guide, we left our wills at the mercy of our inner beast. But not you. Your will is more akin to the lava which courses through the mountains of my homeland. It burns as stronger than any bonfire, and when it cools it becomes hard and firm, unbreakable. This quality allowed you to keep the inner beast at bay. My people were once as you are now, Tolucc, and I believe that is why my ancestors chose to speak to you. They sensed true strength within you, such strength as could rightly represent our people and our art. Had I but realized that myself, none of this need have happened. Well, what's done is done. If I am to have any hope of restoring my people's name, I must start over from the beginning. And this time I mustn't try to do it alone. It may take time, but together my brother and I will restore our village to its former glory, and when we have, I shall remember Tolucc, my friend and fellow warrior, and how she saved me from myself, that my dream might become reality. Wineport is in your debt once more, Tolucc, and what is more, we have seen the truth with our own eyes. Pray, tell Curious George, as much as we will be relying on him for his protection. He is a true warrior, and our humble hamlet would be lost without his strength. Welcome back, Tolucc. Despite all that's transpired, the captain at Wineport would entrust his village's defenses to me? I know not what to say. It has been a long road, but thanks to you I have rediscovered what I lost so many years ago. I will see to my brother's wounds, and once he is well, we will embark on the path of the warrior again, engraving the lessons we have learned into our souls, never to be forgotten. Curiously, the moment I did avow to this myself, my soul crystal began to shimmer anew. I see yours, too, grows stronger than ever. It would seem my ancestors have once more bestowed their knowledge upon you. This power, why is this a power that I have only read about in the tombs? Nay, a power that entirely beyond my comprehension. To think that I once doubted your resolve. No, you have truly conquered your inner beast and become a truer warrior than I ever could hope to be. Know that you stand before me, the equal of my tribe's greatest heroes. Ever steel your resolve, Tolucc, and go forth into the realm and protect those who need your strength. With you representing it, the redemption of my people, the new era I seek, is surely close at hand.